This is the pre-algebra review. This is part 4. I want to simplify these expressions, and we right here have negative 2 minus, open parentheses, 5 minus 3p, close parentheses. Now, if I were following order of operations, as usual, I would try to combine these two things together, but they are not like terms, so I can't do that. I need to distribute something, but right now it looks like there's not a number in front of here, but there actually is. That's a 1. And what's more, this is a negative 1. Remember when we are subtracting, we can rewrite it as plus the opposite of, so it's plus negative 1 times 5 minus 3p. So I need to take this negative 1 and distribute it through here. Again, I'm going to write out every step. You will likely find that you're combining these steps as you get more practice with these. This is negative 2 plus negative 1 times 5, negative 1 times 5, minus negative 1, let me put this negative 1 in parentheses here to make it a little bit clearer, negative 1 times 3 times p. So I have negative 2 plus, we need to do our multiplications, negative 1 times 5, opposite signs, so it's going to be a negative. 1 times 5 is 5. Minus, I'll put that in parentheses there to make it a little bit clearer, minus negative 1 times 3 times p. Okay. So what I have here is I have negative 2 plus negative 5 minus a negative 3. This is plus, the opposite of negative 3 would be positive 3 times p. So I've simplified a whole lot. Do I have any like terms? I don't have another p term, so there's nothing I can combine with this one. But these two are regular numbers. So I combine those. Negative 2 plus negative 5. They're both negative, so it's going to be negative. 2 plus 5 is 7. So I have negative 7, and this comes down plus 3p. And that's all I can do with that one. Okay, so let's check this one out. I want to simplify this to see if I have like terms. All of these have x's, which is great. But they also have to have the same coefficient, not coefficient, the same exponent in order for them to be like terms. Right here, I have an x to the 4th, and here I also have an x to the 4th. So these two I am allowed to combine. 9 plus 12 would be 21. So this is 21, and I keep the x to the 4th. Now look here, I have an x to the 6th, I have x to the 6th. So those two are also like terms. Negative 7 plus 14. These have opposite signs, so we subtract their absolute values, which would give me a 7. The 4 is larger, the 4 was positive, so this is positive. So this is plus 7x to the 6th. I'm not allowed to combine these two any further because they have different exponents. Even though they have the same variable, they have different exponents. Okay, so let's try one more. This one involves distributions because I'm not going to be allowed to combine inside these parentheses because they're not like terms. So I'm going to need to distribute the negative 4. And then I'm going to distribute the positive 3, sorry. And then I will combine like terms if I can. This will be negative 4 times 5y minus negative 4 times 7. So that's this times this. That minus sign is here. Negative 4 times 7 is here. Plus, that's this plus sign right here. 3 times 2y minus 3 times 5. Okay. Negative 4 times 5y. Negative 4 times 5 will be negative 20y minus negative 4 times 7 is negative 28 plus 3 times 2 would be 6, so that's 6y minus 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and write my minus signs as plus opposites. So I have negative 20y plus the opposite of negative 28, so that's plus positive 28, plus 6y plus the opposite of 15, so that's plus negative 15. Now let's look for like terms. I have a y here and a y here. And I do negative 20 plus 6. They have opposite signs, so I subtract. 20 minus 6 is 14. The 20 had the larger absolute value, and it was negative, so that's negative. So this is negative 14y. And then I have 28 plus negative 15. I subtract absolute values there, and I get, what's that, 13. And the 28 was positive, so the 13 is positive, so this is plus 13. And that is your simplified answer.